The Golden State Warriors, meanwhile, Jason.
Ooh,
there's a lot going on here.
This is a fun one.
Let's start with Jordan Bell and what we saw last night. Do we have the dunk?
Fouls hit 1-3. Jordan Bell said not another one. And Jordan Bell will right in. Oh, he threw it off the backboard and had a little fun. Hello. The bench likes it.
He had a surprise.
His teammates like it.
So Stephen Curry threw his mouthpiece that he said wasn't intended to hit a referee, yet he hit a referee. He was fined $50,000, no suspension. Steve Kerr had some interesting thoughts on the matter. This is A2, watch and then we'll discuss.
Coach, things kind of unraveled at the end there. Do you know exactly what happened out on the floor?
I think Steph was upset and threw his mouthpiece. That's what the official said, and that's pretty much an automatic ejection. He was frustrated. We were all frustrated. It was a bad night all around.
Is that, given that Steph's thrown his mouth guard before, I know it was a long time ago in the finals, are you worried that this may lead to a suspension?
I think he should be suspended 8, maybe 10 games for that. It was egregious. It was awful. It endangered thousands of people in the stands.
But it was directed at the referee.
That was the guy from the Starters, right?
Yeah, I love Steve Kerr's sarcasm. Like he's a smart guy. Like
he's calculated.
He is, and he's quick-witted. So should Steph have been suspended? Yes, of course he should have been suspended because, first of all, $50,000 fine. I mean, that's one.
How much is his contract with Under Armour?
It's not even that. It's like the game check alone. Like a suspension is a fine.
I actually have that number. A game check for him is $239,000.
Right. So when you get suspended, you don't get a game check.
Correct.
So a suspension is a fine. So the point of fining him is like, all right, come on, man. I don't think so Nick writes out on Twitter losing his mind, being like Steph Curry, he's a baby superstar, and the NBA cuddles him and makes sure that nothing bad could happen to Steph Curry, even though he has.
Well, he is the babyface assassin.
He is the babyface assassin. Some of these outbursts. However, I thought like a one-game suspension would have been absolutely warranted, just because there are some strange rules. Like, look, we know that CJ McCollum broke a rule that he knew he wasn't supposed to leave the bench, but there are things that players have been suspended for just cursing at refs. So whatever happened to sticks and stones, like that whole idea of like you can say some mean shit to the ref. I'm not saying
you can't though. I know they're so sensitive.
I know.
You can only do that in hockey.
I was gonna say it's the Jackie Moon thing.
Yes.
S my D, I'll murder your family. You're out of here, Jackie. What did I say? You just said suck my dick, you'll murder my family. I didn't say that.
That was the guy in Old School who wanted to get into the fraternity, right? The referee.
Yeah.
That character's awesome. And he was also the guy who was like in The Hangover. Yeah, it's at the corner of Get a Map and Go Fuck Yourself.
Right. So Steph, look. Like he should have been suspended a game, just a game. You threw your. First of all, it just grosses me out. That's why I have a problem with it. Like he's chewing on his mouthpiece and he's throwing this.
Dude, how do you feel then when you watch a UFC fight and blood is everywhere, and then the next fighters have to go and tackle each other in blood?
I think this is
that like your thing too?
I'm not saying this is logically sound. But my point is, I think it's gross that like a mouthpiece with like some saliva and shit on it is being chucked at anything or anywhere. But like some blood in blood sport, yeah, it's a given.
So what you would have preferred is if before he chucked his mouthpiece, he took a 10-minute bathroom break, went there, sanitized the mouthpiece.
I hope he sanitizes it at like
and then
halftime.
Chucked it at the face of the referee.
Halftime.
If it hurt the referee, would he have been suspended?
If what do you mean by it hurt the referee?
Like if it hit him in the eye or something.
I mean,
then yes,
no,
absolutely.
because for me it's about intent. I don't care. I think he should have been suspended regardless, not because it hit the referee or it was at the referee. It was because he was responding in anger towards the referee, and like players have been suspended for angry outbursts verbally and sometimes like physically. Like if you go and if you like even got close to the referee and one of your nose hairs fell onto the shoulder, they'd suspend you a game of the referee.
Could happen with my dad.
Right.
It's a forest in there.
I mean, if Andre Drummond's shoulder hair scrapes, and he's got a lot of it, that's why he's so good at rebounding. I've always said this, Drummond's a good rebounder because nobody wants to be around that Planet of the Apes soldier hair on his. It's here. And
Joel Embiid took it to him last night. shoulder hair and all.
Joel Embiid had 30.
Embiid fucked him up.
Simmons had
so
a triple
here's how I feel about this. I agree with you. I can't remember the last time we've had a 2-time offender of this one
That why
thing.
too, yeah.
And
that's a good reason.
So like I've seen it before with Kirk Heinrich on the Bulls and Nocioni with the Bulls and outside of the Bulls. My childhood is the Bulls.
Right.
I've seen it with a few others. I think who else threw the?
Who else with the
Aaron
Bulls?
Brooks threw his mouthpiece. Former Chicago Bull.
Chicago Bull.
Fuck. There have been other players. The thing is, I've never seen a 2-time offender. So it's like the saying is, of course,
such
fool me
an
once.
odd thing.
Yeah, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Should he have been suspended? I think there was intent, which is obviously a huge thing. And considering how soft the NBA is now with just making the most subtle contact with an official, especially when Mike Budenholzer, when the Hawks took on the Cavs, I believe in the playoffs, but it could have been regular season. He went up to an official and like blanketed him, but not swarmed him. He was like right here,
right
and
up there.
And he was pointing out like, how did you miss that call? They threw him out immediately.
Yeah.
So the refs are soft. The league is a little soft as well. There's nothing better than drama through the first 3 games of an NBA season. I'm totally fine with that cause. But if we look back on other people who got 1-game suspensions, like Kelly Oubre throwing down Kelly Olynyk, well, that was a 1-game suspension through brutal contact. Nut shots have been given 1-game suspensions. But if you're throwing something at a referee, just considering how soft, again, the league is when it comes to making contact with an official, whether it's a projectile or your actual body part, then yes, he should have been suspended.
It's just that Steph catches breaks. Steph is like, not to feed into Nick Wright's point, because I get what he does and truthfully like how he positions his argument makes sense. He's there to rile people up a lot of the time on social media.
Is he?
Steph gets some positive, what's the word I'm looking for? Some preferential treatment. If it was, look, if Chalmers chucks his mouth guard tomorrow towards a ref, and doesn't hit him, but just towards a ref, after what happened with Harden yesterday, he's getting a 1-game suspension. Curry doesn't necessarily fight. Well, it's gonna pull my shirt up there, big guy. Besides the fact it's a black on black chair, and
I saw it. It was
you can see it.
It was distracting.
So in general, he gets some preferential treatment. The NBA treats Steph Curry a little bit unfairly compared. I'm sorry, more fairly. Or no, well, that's not the word I'm looking for. What they're trying to say here is
just stick with preferential treatment.
Preferential treatment.
Yeah, just stick with that.
And yeah, does it make me sound super soft because I want Steph Curry to be suspended? No, I'm trying to just make the point that I want the NBA to be consistent for a league that is generally very fair and consistent and knows their rules and is so much better run than so many other leagues. I just want it to be, fair, consistent, equal.
Totally fine.
And
totally
just,
fine.
it grosses me out. It's a mouthpiece. I don't know why this gets to me so much. It's gross. Like, you have to go pick it off the ground and you put it back in your mouth.
Why is that gross?
It's just there's little things that are gross to people. Like,
I can't think of anything else that is a better correlation. Do you believe in the 5-second rule?
No, if something falls, if it falls on the floor.
Because if you said yes, you would be a total hypocrite in this argument.
If it falls on the floor, then.
So like if your gum falls on the floor, 5-second rule?
For no way. I don't even chew gum, like, because I don't like gum.
Yeah, I can't remember
which is weird.
I'm just giving an example.
But like if a Cheeto falls on the floor, I just throw it out.
Yeah.
If a sandwich falls on the floor, I throw it out.
What if you knew the floor just got cleaned?
Only in my own apartment.
Not at work.
Not at work. Like if I just cleaned my house.
Okay, we're getting super specific, but if you were the first one in and you see that it just got cleaned.
I don't know what's going on, man. There's 12 hours, 12, 14
it's not
hours
like the iguana is like getting out of the cage and humping the floor.
Yeah, but you don't know if the iguana is getting out of the cage. You have no proof and no evidence that the iguana
Technically, we do have
doesn't
proof. There are
rub
cameras
it. It's
here.
iguana dick all over the floor. Or is it a girl or a boy? Chikori? I know you know this. It's a boy, so it has a dick.
It's a boy, so it has a dick.
Yeah, okay. Gross.